So the leader of the opposition in Canada's Parliament, Thomas Mulcair, was in Vancouver yesterday talking about the proposal to extend Canada's military mission against the Islamic State in Iraq. As you know, Canadian Forces CF-18s and the support crew, including refueling planes, for example, are attacking Islamic State terrorists. They're stopping the terrorists, or at least slowing them down, protecting minorities like the Yazidis who have been raped and butchered. And Thomas Mulcair asked an interesting question. Here, let me quote it. I want you to hear it verbatim. He said, "I would love it if Canada had the same approach in areas like the Congo, where 5 million people have been killed in the last 15 years. That's what he said, and he went on to explain his thinking. He said, "Rape is used as not only a weapon of war, but as a strategy of war in Congo. And I've never heard Mr. Harper suggest that the Joint Task Force should go into the Congo. So what is it that's particular about the Iraqi fight?" And he makes a good point. For that matter, why aren't we going into North Korea and saving people there from starvation? Are we playing global social worker or globo cop? What is the difference? Well, I think he's talking about a concept that Paul Martin popularized when he was Prime Minister called responsibility to protect, R2P. It was all the rage back then. It was this notion that we have a responsibility to go around the world and protect people with our armed forces. I think that's the ultimate liberal or leftist view of a military. They don't believe the military should actually fight wars, and certainly not in our national interest. We should indeed be global social workers. And I think that Thomas Mulcair actually believes in that. I think he actually would like Canadians to go into the Congo and try and keep different warring ethnicities apart from each other. I don't think he would want us to go into North Korea because that's too military-ish. In a way, Stephen Harper sending in the Canadian Forces has a little bit of that responsibility to protect idealism in it. When we saw the Yazidi minority being slaughtered on Mount Sinjar, just killed by the 1,000, crucified, beheaded by the Islamic State, it was reminiscent of the German Nazis, these new Islamic Nazis, and I think that did tug at our heartstrings. But I think we have to be very candid about why we are there. It's not because there is some sad situation in the world that our troops can be, as Justin Trudeau would have them be, on a humanitarian mission. Remember when Trudeau said, well, we have expertise on cold climate. No. That's actually not why we're there. We're not actually there because there is sorrow in the world. If that was the case, we'd never be done. We are fighting against the Islamic State because of our own Canadian national interests here at home. Because the Islamic State is already fomenting unrest in our own country. The attacker on Parliament Hill specifically said he wants to live under Sharia law and was inspired by the jihad. We have problems in Canada because of the Islamic State in Iraq and Syria. And more than that, our allies in the region, the stability of the entire region, are at risk because of the Islamic State. They seek not only to conquer Iraq and Syria, but much of the world. Here, take a look at this map. You can see what they want to establish as the new caliphate, the new religious theocracy. We have to stop that, just like we needed to stop Adolf Hitler's Lebensraum and the Third Reich. Not just because we pitied the people who would be abused and slaughtered, but because the entire world, including our world in Canada, was at risk. Thomas Mulcair asks a fair question, and it goes to the fact that we have not yet fully articulated the real reason we're fighting against terrorism, and I think it's time we did. For TheRebel.media, I'm Ezra Levant.